Let me show you how to operate the desktop spectrophotometer YS6060. First, let's take a look at the external structure of the instrument. Here are print port, USB port, DC power port, and the power switch, push 1 to turn on. At the left, we can see the model is YS6060. And here is the transmissive meter part, display screen, indicator light. If during measurement the instrument runs abnormal, it turns red and keep red, measuring key. And here is the reflection measurement position. These are 4 measuring apertures of different sizes, and another one is at here. This is a sample holder. You can put it at here. Reflective white board. Transmissive black plate. And this one is a reflective black trap. And now we can see the main menu. The first one is data manage. We can see the function is to manage the record. We can check chord and to log it, replace it, or to current standard. Or delete search record. The second one is a calibration. This is the function of illuminate. There are 2 observer angles, 10 degree and 2 degree. These are illuminate. The first parameter is the most frequency. Is the most frequency used of all settings. So there is the first one. Okay. UV illuminate. This feature needs to be used when the product contains a fluorescent brightener. Then we need to select the measure mode. First, we set the reflective measure. Select the aperture that we need. If you need the average measurement, you can set it. The next one is color space. The first one is also the used frequency. Is the most frequently used. Color index. There are different color index that can be suitable for different industries. Some optional chromaticity index. We can select the whiteness. Okay. And the display settings. Color offset and the test result, we need to select these 2 functions. And here are settings of system. And after setting all the parameters, we begin to do the calibration. according to the warning. we first do the black calibration. Press the measuring button. And we can see it turns into white calibration. So we do the white calibration. Press it again. Okay, after do the calibration, we can return the test interface. The left, we can select the parameters quickly. And we can see the aperture and the temperature and the reflectivity. All the motors is appearance at here. First, we test the standard, a brown card. And then press the measuring button. So we can see the LAB value are changed, and we can use this camera location function to see the location. And we can delete these values. Click this icon, we can see other parameters. This is the reflectivity of different wavelength. And we also can see the whiteness in different standard. Then we enter the sample measure. The sample is a pink paper. Press the measuring button again. So we can see the result is fair, and the last one is more white, redder, and more blue. And then we set the measure mode to test a transmissive measure. For example, some liquids. And then we need to do the calibration again. The transmission pin, we put the blackboard. And press the measuring key. And then is a white calibration. Here's a note. When measure the transmitted liquid, white calibration is done with the distilled water, and when measure the transmitted solid, white calibration is done with the air. So now we need to test the liquid. We do the calibration with the distilled water. And now calibration is valid. Then we enter the test interface. And when we make a transmission measurement, make sure the reflection whiteboard is in the reflection measurement position. Okay. Also, we do the test. First, test the standard. press the measuring key. Oh no. Oh, this is our first demonstration that we need to cover the transmission module when measuring transparent product. Yes, this is right. And then we test the sample. And we can see the difference between the two liquids. That's all. Thank you for your patience.